Hey, what's going on guys, Xuen here. So today I got some exciting stuff to show you on the BFA Alpha, talking about Demonology Warlocks. Now you're probably wondering what I am doing on a Demonology Warlock, considering that there hasn't been a Warlock content on this channel since 5.3 in Mists of Pandaria. Quick Xuen history is I actually used to main a Warlock before I switched to Monk in MOP. I played a SM Ruin build back in Vanilla, and then TBC I went straight Destro all the way up till MOP, and then I decided to play Monk because I fell in love with the class. The reason why I'm making this video is because I know there's a lot of Warlock players out there that are curious on how the Demonology is getting reworked, and there's a ton of exciting stuff. And the other reason why I'm making this video is because I'm going to be maining this class for PvE, and I'm going to be focusing my Monk more on PvP. So, and the main reason for that is because I'm going to be trying to progress in Mythic rating with my buddy Niho on his server, and I don't want to get burnt out on my Monk, and that's the main reason why. I might PvE my Monks for some casual stuff, but in terms of like hardcore progression is what I want to try to do in BFA. I really do not want to get burnt out on Monk, so hopefully you guys understand. And Demonology is looking really fun. I will probably do a what's it called, destruction overview later on, but I want to kind of go over all the talents and the spells to kind of show you guys some really exciting stuff, and maybe you would want to pick up a Warlock yourself going into the new expansion, and I highly suggest you do because they're incredibly fun to play. So let's get started, and I'm going to do my best to cover as much as I can. Again, I haven't played Warlock too much in Legion, but I have played Demo, not like high CR like 1800, and I haven't done too much, but I'm going to try my best to cover as much as I can. If I miss something, I do apologize. But I'm going to pretty much show you guys the new spells and talents, and then I'm going to show you guys some examples on target dummies of the rotation, and you'll kind of see why I'm really excited for the spec. So let's get started. So in terms of your mastery, it stayed the same to where it increases damage by your demons by a certain percent, depending on how much mastery you have. These other passives you don't really have to worry about, like From the Shadows, it's a talent. But there is a new passive called Demonic Core. Demonology got Soulfire back, or it's technically called Demon Bolt now, but it has the same like spell effect as Soulfire used to have, and the actual same icon, like alert icon, that Soulfire used to have. Demon Bolt, it grants you 2 soul shards. It's a baseline spell now. It's a new spell for Demonology Warlocks. And what Demonic Core does is that makes it when your wild imps expend their energy, you have a 10% chance to absorb their life essence, granting you a stack of Demonic Core. When your summoned Dreadstalkers fade away, you have a 100% chance to absorb their life essence, granting you a stack of Demonic Core. This makes your Demonic Core, or Demon Bolt, an instant cast, and it actually makes a Demonology Warlock's rotation very smooth and fluid. They're also updating the Shadow Bolt animation. They're doing some new, they've done a ton of new Warlock reworks with the spells and how they look, and it's really pleasing to look at. I still miss old Incinerate, but the new Incinerate looks really cool, and the Rain of Fire looks fucking awesome. Let's move on. So you no longer have Summon Infernal, instead you have Summon Demonic Tyrant. It's pretty much the same thing as Doomguard, except it's obviously different. I can actually summon for you right now so you can take a look at this guy. He's pretty mean looking, but he does pretty much the same thing as your Doomguard would do. He would shoot off Shadow Bolts and stuff. Demonic Tyrant to increase the duration of all your current demons by 15 seconds and increase the damage of all your other demons by 15% while casting Shadow Bolt Volley at your enemies. So this demon is going to be casting Shadow Bolt Volleys, and it will increase the duration of your demons by 15 seconds, as well as increase all the other the damage by 15%. So you want to save that cooldown as a burst for when you have multiple demons up. And something that I know is going to get nerfed for Demonology Warlock is the amount of imps that you can spawn. If you get a lot of Soulfire procs, a lot of Hand of Gul'dan's down, because it works the similar way with spawning imps, you can get 6 or 7 imps or stacks of imps out, which is absolutely freaking insane, and it's very fun to play and very satisfying, especially since Implosion is a baseline spell now and no longer a talent. So Implosion is the same as it was in Legion, to where your imps pretty much suicide and run into the target and explode. My guess is that it's going to get nerfed, because I was able to get a ton of procs and able to spawn a ton of imps, because there is a talent that is glitched right now that I'm not running at the moment, called Inner Demons, to where you passively summon a wild imp to fight for you every 10 seconds. And it has a 10% chance to also summon an additional demon to fight for you for 15 seconds. Those imps can proc demonic core when they fade. So you can keep that in mind as well. And the thing that's kind of bugged with this is that if you are near any target dummy or any NPC that you could attack, the imps that you would summon will start attacking him. And the reason why I don't have this talent, even though I think it's the best in the tier right now, is because I want to switch up some talents and kind of show you guys, and I do not want to be stuck in combat. So let's move on. I'll go over the talents in a little bit, but let's continue moving on. Axe Toss, again, if you play Demonology, you're more than likely going to be using Felguard. Call Dreadstalker's the same. So Demon Bolt, Banish, you pretty much have everything's pretty much the same. You do have Shadow Fury as a baseline stun. You can take a talent, just like if you were playing a Windwalker Monk, to make it a shorter cooldown and last a little bit longer, I believe. No, it's just reduces a cooldown, but it is a 3-second AoE stun, which is really nice that it is a baseline stun now. Definitely is going to offer a lot of utility to bring to the party. So everything's the same, so let's move on to the talents. 15 tier is Dreadlash, Demonic Strength, and Bile Scourge Bombers, which is actually a pretty cool spell, which I will be showing you in a bit. So Dreadlash is, so the thing that I do like a lot about, before we go into the talents, the thing that I like a lot about the Demonology talents so far is that you can really choose what build you want to go with. So if you want to go more of a Fellstalker build, or Fellhunters build, I'm sorry, Dreadstalkers. I can't English, I apologize. Dreadstalker build. So if you want to go more of a Dreadstalker build, there's several talents. There's like 2 or 3 talents that you can take that line up with Dreadstalkers to make them more powerful. Dreadlash, I believe, is going to be the best for leveling, considering that Dreadstalkers are on a short cooldown, and this is on a minute cooldown, and that's on a 30-second cooldown. This is going to be really good for AoE and dungeons, but let's move on. So where Dreadlash is, so when your Dreadstalkers charge into battle, so when you summon them, their Dread Bite attack now hits all targets within 8 yards and deals 25% more damage. So it's sort of like a mini AoE when you summon your Dreadstalkers. So if you pull 2 mobs while you're questing, it's going to be some little bit of AoE damage there. You no longer have Doom as a spell, baseline spell as well. Demonic Strength is to where you infuse your Felguard with Demonic Strength and command it to charge to the target and unleash a Fellstorm that will deal 400% increased damage. This is probably going to be the go-to for PvP, considering that it is a 1-minute burst cooldown and it does a significant amount of damage. Bile Scourge Bombers is going to be an option for PvE. In my opinion, it's probably going to be the go-to talent, but for boss fights, it could switch over to Demonic Strength versus Bile Scourge Bombers. Bile Scourge Bombers, you tear open a portal to the nether above the target location, from which several Bile Scourge will pour out and crash into the ground over 6 seconds, dealing so-and-so damage, depending on whatever your stats are. And I will be showing that to you. Actually, we can show it to you guys right now. So it's a really cool looking ability. We're going to summon these guys, and there's going to be a bunch of bats flying into these little target dummies. I think it's a pretty cool ability. It's definitely some really nice AoE. It's on a kind of short cooldown. It's sort of like your Rain of Fire as a Demonology Warlock, since you don't really have Rain of Fire anymore, and I don't even think you had Rain of Fire in Legion. You still have Fellstorm though. So moving on. 30 tier, Demonic Calling, Power Siphon, and Doom. In my personal opinion, Demonic Calling is going to be the best. Shadow Bolt and Demon Bolt have a 20% chance to make your next call Dreadstalkers cost no soul shards and have no cast time. Now, the reason why I think this is really good is you can pair this with Dreadlash, so you can run more of a Dreadstalker build. Power Siphon is also a decent talent to pick up if you want, which actually might actually be the best talent once you kind of get into a rotation. But I think that leveling wise, especially if you want to go with Dreadlash, Demonic Calling is going to be a lot better. But Power Siphon is really nice because it will grant you really fast demonic cores, considering that you can only get them 2 ways. So if you get imps, you can sacrifice them and get 2 charges of demonic core, and it is on a pretty short cooldown. 30 seconds isn't that long. And then you have Doom, and in my personal opinion, it's not a good talent right now because it only afflicts 3,000 damage after 30 seconds. Granted, 3,000 damage at the moment is a very hard hitting ability. Like 3,000 damage is a lot of damage, but it's after 30 seconds. And in my personal opinion, I think that you're going to be getting more value out of the other 2 talents. So we'll see what they do with this. Maybe it'll get buffed, maybe it'll get changed because it's still early on in the beta. Let's move on to the 45 tier. Same thing, Demon Skin, Burning Rush, Dark Pack. That is going to be your personal preference. That is completely the same. 60 tier is a little bit different. From the Shadows, Soul Strike, and Summon Vile Fiend. So in this tier, you can pair something like Demonic Strength with Soul Strike, or you could run more of a Fellstalker build. So from the Shadows, casting Call Dreadstalkers causes the target to take 20% additional Shadow Flame damage from you for the next 12 seconds. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about when you can run more of a Dreadstalker build, more of a Felguard build. But Soul Strike is a 10-second cooldown. Command your Felguard to strike the soul of its enemy, dealing a certain amount of damage. And it also generates 1 Soul Shard. Next is Summon Vile Fiend, which I think is probably going to be best for PvP, maybe, because it is, again, a cooldown, and you can summon a lot of demons still, and this is going to be pretty strong. Summon a Vile Fiend to fight for you for the next 15 seconds, so again, it's another demon that's a pretty powerful one on a 45-second cooldown, which can line up really well with like your Summon Demonic Tyrant, so you can turn this into a 15-second, for the next 15 seconds, you can turn it into 30 seconds, so you can kind of see the opportunities there that you can kind of combine those spells, make them last longer to have more potency. 75 tier is the CC and mobility tier. Dark Fury reduces the cooldown of Shadow Fury by 15 seconds. Mortal Coil is the same, and Demonic Circle. I still wish that Demonic Circle was baseline, but you know, I still think that this is going to be the go-to talent. Just because Demonic Circle is still my favorite spell in the game. Out of all the spells in the game, Demonic Circle is still my favorite because I just love the way it looks, I love the way it feels, and I know it's similar to Transcendence, but I still like Demonic Circle a lot. Let's move on to the 90 tier. Inner Demons, Soul Conduit, and Grimoire of Service. As I said, that Inner Demons is really, really strong because it does work with your passive Demonic Core, to where every 10 seconds you summon a Wild Imp, and then it also has a 10% chance to also summon an additional demon to fight for you for 15 seconds. And if that additional demon happens to be another imp, which it actually has been an imp pretty much 100% of the time that I've ran this talent, that also can proc Demonic Core. I've had Demonic Core proc after Demonic Core proc after Demonic Core proc. So what I would do is I would instant cast Demonic Core, get 4 Soul Shards, Hand of Gul'dan, Demonic Core twice, Hand of Gul'dan again. I'd get 2 more procs, Hand of Gul'dan, and I have about 5 imps on me. And then I would cast Implosion, and it would just be a splash of ton of damage. It was really, really fun and really awesome, and I'll show you guys in a bit. But again, the reason why I'm not clicking this talent is because it's a little glitch right now. If I were to take this talent, Imp would spawn, and it would go straight for that target dummy. It has a massive range, and I submitted several bug reports, so hopefully it gets fixed. Soul Conduit is kind of the same. Every Soul Shard you spend, you have a 15% chance to be refunded. I believe on live it's 20%, so I think that's a little bit of a nerf. And Grimoire of Service summons a second demon to fight for you for 25 seconds. It deals 100% increased damage, 1 5-minute cooldown. the demon will immediately use one of its special abilities. You can also, once again, pair it with Demonic Tyrant to make it last longer, and you also can keep in mind that it will, you know, deal 100% increased damage. So again, you could run more of a Felguard build to where you're summoning more demons. I really like the way that they're doing the talents for Demonology because there's a lot of really cool builds that you can run, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited, on top of the fact that the rotation is very, very fun to play. Let's move into the 100 tier. Sacrifice Souls is each soul shard that you spent that you have spent increases the damage of Shadow Bolt and Demon Bolt by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking it 5 times. I'm not too sure if this is going to be really good, considering that it's really, really hard in a rotation that doesn't have that many abilities as fillers. Like, so your Shadow Bolt and Soul Shard are kind of your fillers. So the fact that you're spending Soul Shards, it could be hard to stack sometimes unless you're guaranteed procs and then you use your Hand of Gul'dan. If you use Hand of Gul'dan, well, I mean, I guess you could do stuff like Soul Strike. See, this is the thing, this is the reason why I like it, because Soul Strike generates a Soul Shard. You could get procs with Demon Bolt, use Hand of Gul'dan, get another proc, you know, Soul Strike again, then you could do other stuff. I don't know if I haven't tested out this talent yet personally, so I don't know if it stays as a consistent damage buff, but we will definitely test that later. Demonic Consumption, your Demonic Tyrant now destroys and absorbs all the remaining power of all your wild imps to empower itself. That can be an insanely strong cooldown, but you also have to keep in mind that Demonic Tyrant also has a 1.5 minute cooldown. And then we have Nether Portal. Nether Portal, in my opinion, is probably going to be the best talent, because even though it is a 3-minute cooldown, it will summon a ton of demons. And what it does is you tear open a portal to the Twisting Nether for 20 seconds every time you spend Soul Shards. You will also command demons from the Nether to come fight for you. And I think it looks really cool. It has all those purple hands tearing open a portal, which I'll be showing you in a bit. So I'm kind of going to be showing you guys some of the spells really quick. I'm going to be using Inner Demons. It's going to eventually spawn some stuff after 10 seconds. So as you can see, Shadow Bolt, I believe, is still a block. They're working on it. But if you can see the casting animation here, to where it's kind of dripping shadows from the hands, it is going to be updated, and I'm really excited to see what the new Shadow Bolt's going to be like. So I'm going to let my pet attack here. So Call Dreadstalkers, instant cast. We're going to get some more Soul Shards here. So I already have 2 stacks of imps. We already have our Demonic Core. So we're going to do this. Hand of Gul'dan again. This again. Hand again. This again. Hand of Gul'dan again. Look how many imps we have, and we're just going to make them all suicide. So it's really, really fun. I mean, I didn't have to send them all in. I could have actually done a Summon Demonic Tyrant and made them last for an even longer time. I had so many imps out. I could have used the Nether Portal at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to just show you guys the Nether Portal really quick. Get some more Soul Shards. And we're going to pop our Nether Portal.
Who dare summon me?
It is a little bit bugged. It doesn't show the portal anymore. It's invisible, but it is there. More of these. Dreadstalkers to instant cast. Let's summon our Demonic Tyrant. It's just a really fun rotation. Even got a little bat here. But yeah, I think it's a really, really cool spec. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be insanely fun to play in PvE, as well as Destro, because it's got a whole bunch of new aesthetic look to it. The Incinerate looks really, really cool. I'm gonna show you guys the Drain Life really quick as well. It looks really cool. It's all purple and green. I think Drain Life looks really fucking cool right now. I think it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's not really my main class, but I hope you guys are excited for this class because I certainly am. And I'm excited to play this in PvE, and I'll be making some guides for PvE. Maybe I'll get into PvP on my Warlock, but again, the main reason why I'm doing this is mainly because I want to not get bored and burnt out from my monk, if that makes any sense. Like, people like Sea-Doo, Sea-Doo even plays Unholy DK right now whenever he mythic raids, and he doesn't heal, and my guess is because he doesn't want to get burnt out, and it makes sense. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't, hit that bell icon so you can be up to date with future videos that I upload. I'm trying to upload more, but other than that, stream every day, twitch.tv/Xuen. Hope to see you guys there. If you have any questions, or you want to drop a piece of your mind, if you're excited about the spec, if you're concerned about certain things that, you know, you've seen, if you don't like it, I'd really like to hear you guys' opinion. But I'll be covering Destruction next, and hopefully that will be up sometime tomorrow or the next day. But again, hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time, and have a great day.